Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 259 of the High Sensitivity Podcast, and thank you for listening. If it's your first time here, we talk about video game and movie news as well as we watched or played over the week. My name is Barry, along with my co-hosts.
My name is Craig.
My name is also Craig. No other statements.
No statements needed.
I'm saving my breath.
Yes, we speaking of saving your breath, we might as well get into the news, in which there is a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
In a way, we thankfully didn't record last week because Xbox decided to do a lot of things. But let me just go over some of the other points, I guess, before we get into our Xbox, rants or discussions, really, because a lot of this has to do with Xbox. First off, EA goes private, bought for $55 billion by Saudi Arabian investment and Javid Kushner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have many thoughts on this. I feel like the main reason this happened was because of EA making EA Sports FC 26. That's kind of the main key in what EA has that continues to make money and is always, flipped a profit. I don't know how this will affect our games. We really probably won't see it for years, for being honest.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that EA got bought is quite the surprise just in general. But it just goes to show everyone has a price tag. EA's was $55 billion.
Yeah.
Didn't they say that they wanted to replace a lot of the workforce with AI? That was like one of their things. So
it seems like what everyone's doing, to be fair.
That's an everybody thing.
Yep.
So let me see. You're skipping the Xbox stuff. Doug Bowser is retiring from Nintendo of America, and
such a shame.
So sad.
At the end of the year, it will be Devin Pritchard, who works for
the name.
She also works for Nintendo. The funny thing is like Reggie Fils-Aimé was like an iconic person for Nintendo of America. It seems like Nintendo doesn't really do that anymore. Like, if you didn't know or keep up with games, you don't know who Doug Bowser is. You know who Bowser is.
Right.
Bowser, that makes no sense. So it's one of those things where maybe Devin is more like a representative for Nintendo of America and decides to, be in more videos and be more like in the mix. Just because I feel like a lot of the reason Reggie was as popular or kind of helped Nintendo grow in America is because he was there at the events. It was charismatic and was
he was bombastic.
He was he did a lot of things that I think people at least is like, oh, he's an interesting guy and he's selling an interesting product. Take for example the Switch or the Wii or whatever, and all of those are commercial successes. Not that Nintendo needs them.
You know what he was like? He was like, if you were a kid and you had an older brother or a fun aunt or uncle or somebody who introduced video games to you, he like reminds me of that guy. Like, hey, you want to go play Duck Hunt? Like, like that kind of thing. I don't know.
We then have Nintendo shadow dropping a Fire Emblem Among Us clone called Fire Emblem Shadows. Did I play it? Yes. I don't have many opinions. This is a weird game. The characters are like anamorphic versions of themselves. It's a strange game. I don't know why anyone would play it, to be honest, if Among Us is a much better version of this game. So unless you really, really like Fire Emblem, even me, who really, really likes Fire Emblem, didn't need an Among Us version of it. So keep that in mind. They shadow dropped it. So I don't think Nintendo has much faith in it at all whatsoever. They're shadow dropping this kind of thing, but interesting to say the least. We did have a Sony State of Play where Sauros is coming out in March. Very interested in that. That looked good. We have Neo 3. We had Battlefield 6 campaign trailer. And the big ending part was Wolverine is coming out sometime next year.
Bro.
Are you guys excited?
Understatement.
I'm a little hesitant about it.
It's definitely Spider-Man, but mature.
Yeah.
Right?
Did you guys have that moment where you were sitting with like significant other and you looked over to them and you were like, I wonder if they're going to do like X-Men from 2003. Oh, nope, there's blood. Like that's
Yep.
They're doing a Logan. They're doing a Logan version, and that's exactly what we needed. At least that would have been the biggest outcry had that not.
Yeah.
I'm locked in.
Okay.
Um,
You gonna get the
my
statue collector's edition to go with your
don't
Venom?
I'll start saving now because by the time it comes out, with inflation and the economy, it'll be $700. So
Yep.
Yeah,
yes,
that is true. Very
but I am
true.
tempted. I am tempted. That Venom statue is pretty dope.
Yeah.
But the only question I have is the contrast of traversal. They showed him on a motorcycle. They showed him using his claws in very insane looking set pieces where he's like kind of just going down like a large building or a large inner area. So like how's the vertical movement? Like how are they going to change levels based off of that? Because Spider-Man could go from A to B in 5 minutes, like one section of the city to the other. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be zones. If anything, we kind of got snowy. We kind of got like a Mexican, Spanish area. Even Japan, I think we saw a little bit of that, or they might have said that he's going to go there. So it's going to be, I think, one of those games that like you're there for a reason. Big plot point happens, on to the next plot point in another area.
Yeah.
Omega Red though.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Cool.
That was a great cut.
Yep.
Omega Red is not really represented much anymore in outside of comics.
We did have a Hideo Hijima Con in a really strange way. Fizzant is not coming for another 5 to 6 years. Expect that to be a PlayStation 6 game.
Mm.
Yep.
And then we got OD Knock, the Xbox horror game.
Looks cool.
Yeah, I was
Oh
gonna
my
say this
God.
is right up your guys' alley.
Is there gonna be an Xbox though?
That is another question.
Every time they say that, I just keep forgetting that that's like backed by Microsoft. So it's
Yeah.
very
Right.
weird to me that game is the one that. I mean, good for them, I guess. But I have a hard time believing it's going to be an exclusive, right?
Right. That trailer though.
Yeah.
Like I was so good I had to text you guys on that one.
Yeah.
Looks very cool.
Very cool.
All right, and then before we get into the Xbox news, I have my own little bit of personal stuff here. So the Department of Homeland Security uses the Pokemon theme song to promote catching illegal aliens, and portrays them as Pokemon cards to collect.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, I am Latino. I am here in the country illegally, so ICE, don't come after me. You're gonna have a bad time.
Yep.
To find out that Pokemon probably won't sue is very disappointing, considering that Pokemon just sued Pal World for their catching mechanic,
Yep.
Right.
and won, to say the least. I did a little bit of research on this. Many legal experts would say that it wouldn't be wise for Pokemon to do it, just because one, it would be a very long and drawn out legal battle, and two, Pokemon and Nintendo want good relationships with the United States because, well, we sell a lot of we buy a lot of Pokemon crap from them. So, we're not a political podcast. I'm going to keep things clean here. I think whoever made this video is a deranged psychopath that needs these are the people you want running your country, people who treat others like Pokemon cards and use the Pokemon theme song to collect illegal aliens. I get it. I get deportation, trying to get into the people should try their best and do whatever they can to come into the country legally. Regardless, what happened to human decency? Treating people like other people. Latinos can just be detained by ICE for the way they look at this point, and forego any sort of paperwork about if you're legal or illegal or not. Like, doesn't matter who you are, they're allowed to racially profile you and take you off the street if they decide to do so. I am lucky enough that has not happened to me at all. I am lucky in that I look very white, to be fair, and I'll admit my own thing there. But I just think
people aren't things.
Yeah.
people aren't things to collect. People aren't things to throw around on the ground and treat them like crap. People deserve respect. I just this is the country that you guys wanted. The people, ones that treat people like cards. I can't stand it. It's I think about it. I think about this way too much, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But it's ridiculous. I'm trying to keep things clean and not make it an explicit podcast by dropping f bombs or s words or anything like that. But it's very disappointing as someone who does really like Pokemon. For them not to at least they didn't have permission to use it, so uh, the fact that money comes into play, I should have known better. Should have known better is my thinking. Nintendo will sue everybody who they can for illegal Pokemon ROMs, downloading illegal Pokemon things. They'll do it all, but the moment the government gets a chance to do whatever it wants, they won't. They're too scared to do it. So,
Yeah, it would cost them being able to release the new Pokemon over here more than likely is what they're thinking, right? Or they would have to jack up the price because they're afraid of getting hit with tariffs or whatever,
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, so let's talk about Xbox instead.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get even more angry.
Speaking of price hikes.
Yep.
So before we get into the big portion here, Xbox did do a Tokyo Game Show portion of things where they did show off Kanye's script, The Endless End. I thought that looked really cool. It was
that
a
looks
2D,
good.
2D side scroller, like it was a book based sort of game. We do have Forza 6 being announced and going to Japan. That is very cool.
What did you guys think of that trailer? Because you two are the Forzas out of this podcast. I'm not the Forza guy.
Good idea.
Yeah, it didn't show us much, but based off of the scale, I really hope that Japan is such a wide area full of different climates. I'd really like to be able to see the ability to drive from, the tippy top of Japan down to the south end, get to explore countryside, also be in the snowy type areas, and then you go down where things are a little bit more warmer, and to cities and stuff like that. These games aren't known for having like people out in the busy streets, so it's not like you're going to be able to run through Hokkaido and see busy crosswalks or things like that. But just I think the nighttime would be very, very cool. They have a chance to do it, and they have a chance to do it really well. So I'm hoping that they do that. I loved 4 in London. I kind of dropped off a little bit with Mexico. It lacked that kind of big central city area, and I really like to see that with Japan. I think they could do.
Yeah, you got the mountains you should be able to drift down. That's there, and then super dense city. I'm excited for it. I never stick with those games long enough. I play them for like a week and then I usually drop off.
I think that I might try it out, especially if it's a Game Pass day one, which obviously is one of the things we're going to talk about. Because I don't know, Japan's a beautiful country, so
So we also got the Xbox Ally prices being released. We have the regular version, I believe, going for $600, and then we have the Series X version going for $1,000.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Yes, welcome to gaming on the go with Xbox Game Pass. Speaking of Xbox Game Pass, we might as well get into the meat and potatoes of all of this. We have Xbox announcing last week that they are raising the price of Xbox Ultimate and changing the tiers up a little bit. If you want the Ultimate version that comes with the ability to use your unlimited game streaming, you have the day one games on your PC and your Xbox and have the ability to kind of cross-save features there, that is going to cost you now $30 a month. And that was released to big outrage to the point where the site crashed with people canceling their memberships. But just so I can have a moment to bring up the other tiers and how much they still are.
And also, on a side note, I know it's not here in the US yet, but I did see today that I believe parts of the UK, people were getting emails letting them know that if they had not canceled their Game Pass Ultimate, they would be staying at the original price. But if you did cancel, or if you're a new subscriber, you would be paying the new price, which is kind of an interesting twist as far as Microsoft backpedaling a little bit. As of right now, in the US, that's not the case, right? But it could be something that they, because of the backlash, maybe we see that everywhere where they're like, hey, if you're paying, what are we paying right now?
20.
Is it 20, 21,
yeah.
something like that?
It's 20. Yeah.
Maybe they go, and say, all right, everybody who didn't cancel, you can stay at the 20. But if you do cancel and want to renew later, it does go up to 30 as like a compromise. I was actually surprised they didn't roll back everything because of how bad it went over.
Right. Because how long has it been since that announcement? When was that again?
Like last week.
Yeah, last week. Yeah, so it's crazy. It's this time, and there hasn't been like a rollback like that yet.
Mm-hmm.
So just so people have an idea, what the Ultimate includes is all of the day one games, Ubisoft Plus Classics, and EA Play is included with Fortnite Crew coming
which is
in
the
November.
Battle Pass, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The unlimited cloud gaming, as I mentioned, in-game benefits, including for Riot Games, the multiplayer, and then you can earn up to $100 a year in the store with rewards.
Yep.
Before you move on, it's important to note, because we might have to make fun of them later, that they promised 75 day one releases.
Yeah.
So let's kind of keep that number in our mind as we see this first year with the new Game Pass price.
Right.
We have Premium then. Premium is $15 a month, where you will get new Xbox games released within, will be on that version of Game Pass within a year of launch, unlimited cloud service, in-game benefits including Riot, online multiplayer, and then you earn up to $50 a year in store with rewards. You then have Essential, which is pretty much your core, pretty much just allows you to game online. You can earn up to $25 a year in store with rewards. There still is the Game Pass PC version, which is $16.50 a month. That is a hybrid, if I will say. It includes the day one games that you can play on your PC. So we've talked about this many times on this podcast. What are you guys going to do?
I'm stacked till like, I don't know, August. So I feel like I have that time to make that decision and see if this does blow over.
Sure.
After that, I might be one of those cancel startup people for the month, like
when
what you do.
When you see a game that you want to play.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I haven't decided yet, because mine renews on like the 2nd of every month. It just auto renews. So like I already renewed for this month, and it was the normal price, the $20. So I'm not getting hit yet. But I don't know, because my original thought process was I use my Xbox so much that it's probably worth $30 a month for me, because I download like every single Game Pass game when it comes out. But I'm also trying to think that, like, factoring in that I am still paying for PlayStation Plus as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what? How much is that?
$160?
I mean monthly.
Monthly.
Is it 20 something?
Yeah,
right? Because it was higher than Game Pass.
Yeah, PlayStation Plus tiers. Whoops.
I want to say it was like 24. Is that right?
Does $17.99 sound correct?
I am trying to get the information. Like There's not a handy graph like there is with the Xbox.
Yeah.
So there's so let's see here. We're getting there. So premium
$17.99 or $160 for 12 months.
Okay. So now I'm looking at, over $50 with tax every month for both of them. And that's not quite a game a month, but it's getting close. I don't know yet. I haven't decided because I have pretty much this month to decide. I don't know. It's a tough call.
Here's the question. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I will personally, I am lucky enough to also have stacked up enough live and Christmas presents and things like that to have it good till next year. For me, I will be going down and kind of subscribing whenever it makes sense for a game that I want. In this economy, like $30 a month or $360 a year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Compared to like the $180 I would pay for the premium, that it's half the price, and I can't. It would be really hard to justify paying $360 a month, or sorry, a year.
Yeah.
For all of that, because for me, my Xbox I don't use as much.
Sure.
But
same.
I could take that extra money I'm saving and within a few years build a PC, and then just get the Game Pass for PC, because that seems to be the best deal that you can
get.
Or even, I mean, if it's $360 a year, divide that by like either $60 or $70 per game, and just pick out the ones that you really want that are day one exclusives, and just buy them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because considering the benefit of that is buying it is that if for whatever reason Microsoft Store were to go down for years on end, or they take away a game, you don't own it. So that is a plus to think that way as well.
But like, here's the other thing too to think about for people who may be considering staying or going is like, if you don't need to play every game immediately, you can forego Game Pass, and because of Microsoft's looseness with exclusivities now, so if like you could wait for it to end up on the PS catalog if you have like PlayStation, like these are the weird things we're going to be thinking on how to circumvent this.
Yeah.
To try to save money, because I don't think I played $360 worth of games on Game Pass this year. Maybe with Outer Worlds 2, possibly. But there's a couple of games I would have skipped. I would have waited for blueprints on something else. I wouldn't have played it like, so like if that's a decision I have to make as a gamer, then maybe that's a decision that we have to start making in certain instances. Because I don't think Game Pass fully delivered this year, and the Xbox showcase didn't really show us a lot to be thankful for. It was kind of a weak Xbox showcase right before announcing an uptick in Game Pass. Like it just wasn't strong. So you got to give me Fable and then tell me to stay on Game Pass. Like, like give me
I'm trying to pull up their list of things that have come out this year on Game Pass day one, as a way of me to be like, did I get my money's worth, or like would I get, $300 some dollars? Like Indiana Jones I beat, but that was right in December, right? So I'm trying to think of like Gears of War Reloaded I played the whole way through. Doom the Dark Ages I beat. Elder Scrolls the remaster I played for like 2 hours.
Did you get overwhelmed like me? I played for like 2 hours and I was like, there's too much to do.
I mean, but Stalker 2 I barely played. Silksong I have played. Tony Hawk obviously, but I actually bought Tony Hawk, so that doesn't count. The Ninja Gaiden 2 remaster I did play through. Blueprints, like you said, I played for a little bit. Expedition 33 is another one. Sniper Elite I beat. South of Midnight I beat. I'm trying to think.
South of Midnight. Was Avowed this year, because that was easily $360 for me.
Yeah, and then obviously there's Ninja Gaiden 4, Outer World 2, and Call of Duty left this year, right?
Yeah, I would say you've gotten your money's worth, Greg.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. But again, like I use my Xbox a lot more than you guys do. But at the same time, right now, like I have not turned my Xbox on probably in a couple weeks because it's been all PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Even for somebody like me, it's a hard choice. Like, am I gonna, are they gonna drop enough stuff next year to justify it? I don't know. Are they even gonna be around in 2 years?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a weird time. It's an expensive time to
Yeah.
be like, if you wanted to just treat like anybody to a current gen version of Xbox, like you're paying $2,500. Why not just get a computer? Like, let's say that you're like somebody who's like, I want to get the system. They walk into a store and they're like, I want to get the system. I heard they had a handheld. What's all this going to cost me?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like over $2,000 just to be a part of Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, I feel like we're heading toward the area where it definitely seems like Xbox is more or less okay. We're kind of done with consoles.
Yep.
That's been kind of the rumor that a lot of places have been reporting on lately, is that we will see another console in probably 2 years, and then that will be it. I imagine their R&D department team has probably already done enough development and research and spent enough time to produce one more console. But the PC gaming area, and I did do a bit more research on this, but the millennials like us are the ones that are still clinging on to console gaming.
Yep.
Younger kids, they like Xbox is pretty much just given up on them. PlayStation is pretty much what kids have been getting. And if they have a PlayStation, they're not buying an Xbox, they're building a PC, and then you can access the Xbox game game catalog through their launcher. So it just seems as though the next generation's coming up here could be the last for consoles, at least on Xbox's end. I'm not sure about PlayStation, but you end up at a crossroads where you need to decide whether or not do I start saving for the next Xbox console if you're thinking about it now, or are you going to build a PC that not only serves the purpose of your Xbox console, but also is a computer? You can do work, you can surf the internet and watch videos.
Are you guys, when the next consoles come out, like I think all of us would be like, oh, I'll probably get the next PlayStation, right? But are you guys going to skip Microsoft's?
probably.
Yeah, I'd probably
That's
say
what I was thinking too. I feel like I'm just going to go with the next PlayStation, and I'll have the Switch too, and
yeah,
you won't need the Xbox.
Here's the other thing I wanted us to think about too, which may be a hot take, is like we've also known about this for a long time. And like we talk about it, how has Game Pass been sustainable? They lost like what was it, like 300 million by putting the latest Call of Duty or the last Black Ops just as a day one on Game Pass. And like there was just money that you couldn't understand the like what was being put into what was being got out. And like I know that we've had this conversation multiple times. It's like how are they doing that? Like how are they putting just Outer Wilds on Game Pass or just all of these, and like where's it coming back? And like maybe this is just that time that it happened finally. This is the thing that we were thinking in the back of our heads, like this is just not a sustainable business, and they're trying to do whatever they can to make it as sustainable as possible. Just now, like this wouldn't have been a good or a well received take by Microsoft at any point. Yeah. It's just happening now after they also released their $1,000 handheld and told us that the Xboxes are now up in pricing. It's just all happening at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of bad for everybody, especially considering that people have less money than they ever have at this point, with prices going up and all of the things that are going on politically in the United States. It just feels like it's a matter of, at least me personally, it feels like it's a matter of time before the government starts looking at video games and goes, okay, now we are subjecting a luxury tax or something like that onto it to make it something even more unaffordable at some point. Right. And then you do a luxury tax on it, and then that pretty much stops physical game production. So then now everybody goes digital, and then before you know it, nobody's making discs anymore. Everyone's just downloading them, which is unless you can unless it's one of those things where you don't need a server connection in order to get to the game, then the moment internet wipes out, gets wiped off or something like that, you can't access any of those games and they're all useless. So just keep that in mind. Hold on to your consoles tight, kiss them goodnight, let them know it's going to be all right, and just take care of them now. They're going to grow up too soon, and you're going to miss them. You're going to wish they were younger.
Yes, Barry.
We ready to get into games this week then?
Yes.
Was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
Yes, just an addendum to the Kojima thing. He also announced a credit card. And I did not know that the man had a line of sake. He went the oh my god, who's the dude who did Godfather, who has his own wine? I'm forgetting his name right now. Anyway, he has his own sake, and I briefly, and I want to let you two know, and anybody listening and watching, in a moment of weakness, I thought, I wondered what my credit was, or the last hard inquiry that was done on my account, because I was like, maybe I am just that dedicated to Hideo Kojima to get his credit card. That's all.
I tried to get the sake, but they don't ship over here. I had it in my cart. I was in the checkout, and it was like, unfortunately, we don't deliver to the U.S. And I went,
it would have been such a cool thing to have too.
Yeah, because at this, I was like, that'd be cool to have like the bottle. Obviously, yes, drink it, but like just to hold on to the bottle. But yeah, the problem I have with all of his stuff is it's usually Japan exclusive, and I don't know if that's because of import tariffs or whatever, but like it's very hard to get stuff. So that just means if I ever go over to Japan, I'm just gonna have to load up while I'm over there.
Load up.
A bucket list place for both of us then, Craig.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's on the list.
Let's get into games this week, where we probably all have something pretty similar. I have Hades 2, Ghost of Yotei, and Final Fantasy Tactics.
Ghost of Yotei and Final Fantasy Tactics I just have not played them. Like I've said every week so far, I am being a diligent gamer and finishing games. I knocked off Death Stranding 2.
Let's go.
And I also beat Silent Hill F.
Okay.
So I got 2 done.
I'm pretty sure that I talked about Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, the last one, so I'm just going to X that one out. But I finished Hell Is Us. And I also did not beat Silent Hill F, but I started it. And then Super Mario Galaxy and Ghost of Yotei.
You bought Super Mario Galaxy.
I did. I caved.
Look, to be fair, I've been thinking about it. I just didn't pull the trigger, and a part of me is.
And to be clear, I bought the 2-pack.
Oh God, it's even worse.
Do you have the 3-pack?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you just bought Super Mario Galaxy twice.
It was a moment of weakness. Yeah, totally.
This is why they keep doing it.
Yeah,
people keep buying it.
Yeah, moment of weakness. Should I talk quickly about Hell Is Us, because it's a very short one, and it's an old game. It's an August one. Hell Is Us, great game if you don't want to have a map. Do not play it after like a long day at work where your brain is. It's a notebook game. It's a blueprints type of game. Okay. The story kind of had a flat ending, which was upsetting and it's also not helping my sales pitch because it had a flat ending. But the things you're going to get, you're going to get a lot of good. The complaints, I'll start with the complaints. You're going to get not a varied enemy type. You're going to get that the combat is probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10, which is fine. If you want, like, I know people that I have a buddy of mine who got the game and he just turned it on the easiest mode because he just wanted the story. Like, the story is very interesting, and the fact that you have to really think and write some things down, remember some of the puzzles that you did complete to do later puzzles, like maybe another game hour or 2 down the line. It was very unique and a very interesting take on a war-torn area. The game is very heavily focused on war, and there's a lot of factions that don't like each other. And you kind of have to like juggle the understanding of that. But It's an interesting game. I would get it at its price or wait, depending on if you really need something or not. But it was really nice to play something different.
So, just because they are two older games, Craig, would you like to get into Silent Hill and well, especially Death Stranding?
Yeah. Okay. So Death Stranding 2, as of right now, would be my pick for Game of the Year. One of the best games I've ever played. Honestly, I think it's probably top 10 all time for me. To be fair,
Are you hearing this,
and
Barry?
this is coming from somebody who never finished the first one, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny because like everything I read, people are like, "Oh, the first one's better. Second one is just more of the same." I disagree wholeheartedly. I think it was a lot of like he knew what was holding people back in the first one, which was like let's get you going early, let's get you the trike right away, so you're not just walking everywhere. To be fair, I didn't do everything, and I may go back later and try to. There was a point about 75% of the way through where I just started doing just the main missions because I was like, if I don't, I'm never going to get through this. And I could feel the burnout coming from doing the side stuff. So I was like, let me just focus in and see the story through. Incredible story. Has plenty of Kojima what is going on moments, which is fantastic. The ending is very Kojima ending, right down to like I don't know what it is about his games and having the protagonist and antagonist fighting shirtless in every like one of his games, but he always does that every time. But I don't know, I found it like incredibly fun. It's definitely a game that like you could get through this game in like 20 hours if you want to. But there's so much out there to kind of like draw your interest that you can pick and choose who you're interested in and try to 5-star them and get their whole story, like the pizza delivery guy.
Love him.
Yeah, he was awesome.
The data scientist was awesome.
Data scientist is amazing. Yeah, I mean, it was one that I was determined to finish, and like my daughter watched the ending, watched like the last hour of the game, and she was literally like, she pulled up like an hour and a half YouTube video explaining it all because she was just like, I don't know what's going on, but this last hour looked amazing, so I have to know what the story is. Yeah, I mean, I still think Metal Gear Solid is Kojima's best game. I do, the first one. But I think this might be number 2 of his games. I'd put it over Metal Gear Solid 3 for sure.
I would put it over 3.
Yeah, I think it's just overall a better concept, better story. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful game.
Absolutely beautiful. Barry, finish the game.
Yeah, I really should. I really
you should. Higgs is also
Higgs
awesome.
Is phenomenal.
Every time Higgs is on screen, it's amazing.
Yep. I would have preferred more of them, honestly. But yeah, like every one of those characters was interesting to me. They all had a deep backstory. All of them. Like I feel like he's writing novels about every single character. Maybe not on paper, but in his head for sure. Got me super pumped for another one in the direction he's obviously going in. I was like, I'm down with that 100%. Yeah, and I don't feel like I feel like the recap at the beginning of the first one got me everything I needed to know. I didn't feel like I was missing anything. Right. Honestly, like I was like, yep, I understand the story. I know what's going on. I know where we're going from here. So yeah, I mean, we're getting near the end of the year, but right now this is like solid right in first place for me.
Okay. I respect that.
Silent Hill, Barry, you want me to do Silent Hill?
I can go into.
All right, go ahead.
So before you get into Silent Hill, let me get into my game of the year. It's Hades 2.
Game of the year is Hades 2. Okay.
Yeah, game of the year is Hades 2. I am hooked.
You were hooked on the first one.
I was hooked on the first one, but I made the mistake of playing Hades 1 before it went into 1.0. So it didn't have all of its story elements. It didn't have all of this stuff. By the time 1.0 came out, I was pretty burned out on it.
Okay.
And its new things. I played a tiny bit, maybe 2 hours of Hades 2 on the computer. I did buy the early access. And I was like, you know what? I want to wait for 1.0. Experience it how, most people would. And I love the game. I am playing it every night before I go to bed. It's like I got to get one more run in, but it is just this perfect roguelike balance of story is moving forward, you're getting more powerful, you're making more progress. They're consistently throwing more things at you, like with new boons to use from gods, to also things to increase your chances. It's just, the weapons I think are fun, and I enjoy the new magic and cast system. There's also two different ways to take. So now there's even like more of a story for you to find there. Getting down to, in Hades, it was getting up to the surface was the goal, and getting to meet your mother Persephone. That's not the goal of this game. You either can go down and defeat the Titan of Time Kronos, or you go up to break the siege that is being on Mount Olympus. It's one of those things where later in the game you will get to go up the stairs instead of down. At every point, I am just constantly like having fun with this game. I am enjoying it. It's really hard. It scratches that itch in my brain. I've talked about, and this is the monthly mention of one of my favorite games, Scarlet Nexus.
Which game? Which game was that?
Oh
Scarlet Nexus. It hits that itch in my brain where, like, when you're when you're in that flow state of the game, everything is perfect and it's all going fantastically. Yeah, sometimes you have bad runs. You can undo a night just with a snap of a finger, pick the weapon you like, and then go back and try again. It is so quick. It is so it's just awesome. You can now like bring familiars with you, so you can have a little dog or a frog like help you in your battle, and they'll do damage and distract they don't distract enemies, but they'll help you kill them. And it's just one of those things where it just keeps adding more, and the bosses are changing up on me, so they're not always the same thing anymore. Certain bosses are different. Some are in a group, some of them are alone. uh it's incredible how much time I've been sinking into this game, and I'm still constantly drip feeding me more new stuff, more new things. We talk about games as a value, like when it comes to Hollow Knight being what, 20? Is it 20 or 40?
It was 20, wasn't it? Or was it 30?
Or it might have been 30.
30.
You have games like Hades 2 being 30. I think it's $30 on Switch 2 right now. Mm-hmm. And it runs smooth. I have not experienced one issue on the Switch 2 version. 120 frames, 4K when docked. It's one of these rare games too that comes out as a technical. It works. I've had no issues, no game-breaking bugs. Unlike Borderlands 4, which I love Borderlands. I do like Borderlands 4 as well, but that game was essentially and still is kind of broken on a lot of systems. This game is not that. It works perfectly, and Melanoe is one of my favorite characters, I think, of all time. I really enjoy her just as well. But yeah.
Let me not insult Team Cherry. Hollow Knight is $20. I'm sorry. I just had to correct that. That's awesome, Barry. Though,
yeah, we talk about value in gaming. Expedition 33 did it earlier this year too.
Yes,
where
they did.
It's more about the game that they built and not how much time is put into the game engine or the graphics or the cutscenes or the facial, capture or anything like that. It's about what you put into the gameplay. That is what people play.
Right.
Yeah, agreed. It's going to be a tough year this year, honestly.
One of the toughest in recent memories.
Yeah,
I'm interested to see like game awards and things like that, because like what is that top 5 that be considered for game of the year? You know, what is considered for best narrative? Yeah. You know, like Death Stranding's going to be on there. You best believe Expedition is going to be on there. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you pick. I don't know how you pick between all these games. I'll be honest.
Right.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be
tough. Silent Hill F. Craig. I mean, I only have about 2 hours in, so I think you should be the.
Yeah. What do you think so far, though?
Love it.
Okay.
I love it. I don't like the only thing I'm getting over is not having a gun still.
Yes.
The whole melee driven thing is a little bit wonky.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a huge fan of Japanese horror aesthetics.
Yeah.
And that's kind of propelling me through, I guess, some of the things that would irk me about it.
Okay.
But we just got past like one of the early scenes, like, you know, when you leave the city briefly and you go into that area and you have that monster who's kind of spawning and chasing you everywhere while you have to turn we just completed that and got back into the city.
Okay. Yeah. So all right, so Silent Hill for me was on like it's almost like a seesaw that went from okay to I hate this game to okay to this game sucks to okay. It never got to I love this for me. Main issues are there's a lot more combat in this than a normal Silent Hill game has, and it's Souls light, right? It's parry, dodge, you have stamina. I never felt like it was done well. The punishment for running out of stamina, it takes so long to start filling up again that you're gonna take 3 or 4 hits, and that usually, if it doesn't kill you, puts you real close to being dead. And until you get way later in the game and you start upgrading your stamina, it's such a big problem that I was not having a good time. It does this thing where the town that she's in is done so well, and I love walking around that town. And then you go to the other world, right, that you just finished, and you keep going back and forth the entire game. You're going to do a little bit in her town, then you're going to go to this like dream world, then you're going to go back. I didn't like the dream world area. So every time I felt like I was getting going on like, okay, yeah, this is cool. Like, all right, cool. I'm at the school. This is Silent Hill. Like the school for me was like, yes, this is Silent Hill. You know what I mean? Creepy. And then it's like pull you right back out and put you in the dream world again. And I'm like, oh my God, just let me be in this cool Japanese town that you created, for the love of God. And then I'm not going to do any spoilers, but when you get towards the end of the game, there's some things that you have to do with your character, and it gives your character a special meter. Why do we have a special meter in a Silent Hill game? What are we doing? And my thing is like the thing about Silent Hill games is there's always multiple endings, right? Always. And like that's part of the draw of Silent Hill is like you get the different endings. This game is very much the first ending they tell you is not a good ending. They tell you that. And they expect you that you're going to play through this game 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to get all the endings. But I had such a not great time playing through it that I finished it and I was like, I'll just go look up the endings on YouTube. I am not going back through this game again. I'm not. It was like it took me 8 hours to beat the game, and it felt like 30. I just kept going, oh my God, are we done yet? Holy. But the story is good. That's the thing. Like the story is good, and the town looks phenomenal, and the characters are awesome. But the game itself was just driving me nuts. Man, I want it to be, if they just tweak the combat a little bit, I would be like, this game's great. This is like top 5 of the year. But I couldn't. Oh my God, I was so annoyed. Hopefully you have a different opinion when you get through it, that you're like, no, I didn't have a problem. and you still enjoy it, and like you'll want to play through it again. But the idea of like, oh, I just finished it, let me go through it 3 more times, was just like, nope,
Nah, fam. Right.
nope. I'm good. Thanks though. So yeah,
Right.
I would say slightly disappointing. I know I'm coming off as harsh. The story is there.
Right.
It's good story. Man, it's just not it wasn't Silent Hill 2. We're coming off of that, which was so good.
Right.
And this is just like a step in a different direction for me. But still spooky. Still freaks you out. Yeah, I don't Barry, you need to play it too. We need a third opinion.
Right.
To be fair, this game is very decisive. Like, I've heard a lot of people like give it middling reviews. Some people like it, and then the combat seems to be the biggest sticking point.
Yeah.
People either like it or they don't. And to be fair, the stamina bar, like without it being upgraded, seems to be a big sticking point.
Yeah.
For a lot of people. So I completely get that. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they throw some like enemies at you early where you need that stamina.
You do. You have to parry. You have to do that. Like they like do a little move, and that tells you to hit the heavy attack, and then you'll counter. And like if you do that, it does massive damage, and you can usually kill them, if not right away, very quickly. But some of those enemies are like very hard to tell when they're doing it, and they don't do it very often. So you have to dodge like 4 attacks in a row. And if you don't perfect dodge, because if you perfect dodge, your stamina fills back up completely. But if you miss that perfect dodge and you just dodge 4 times, your stamina's gone. So you can't even do anything. You just got to take the hit. To me, that's not like I don't know. Some people would say that like, oh, just get better at it. To me, that's a design flaw. I think. Just, I don't know. An update could probably fix it.
Even updating like the perfect like dodge.
Yeah, and to be fair, when I got near the end of the game, I got like a something you can equip that made the window to perfect dodge bigger. Okay. And I was like, oh, okay.
Perfect.
If I would have had that 4 hours ago, I'd probably have a different opinion on this game.
Yeah, usually games give you something like that early.
Yeah. No, they don't. They wait. I was like, oh, thanks. But your other playthroughs would be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, I just don't want to do it. Maybe you will. Maybe you're like, I'm going in 5 times. More power to you.
Yes. Barry, Ghost of Yotei. I mean, how much did you play?
I was going to go Final Fantasy Tactics.
Oh, go Tactics.
Tell me to open it right now.
Tack it up.
I am loving Tactics. It is this mix of the job class system that I love so much in older Final Fantasy games, and the turn-based tactics that like Fire Emblem and what I get with that. The characters are personable. I like having like and I find that story actually really engaging. It's one of those things where Fire Emblem tends to, and I make so many comparisons to Fire Emblem because that was my introduction to turn-based combat, really. In a grid form, not like turn-based in Final Fantasy X. You guys get my drift here, but overall, like this game just doesn't. It lets you do what you want to do, and that's what I like. I like, the monk class and teaching him all of these high flying moves, where he's pretty much a luchador in a way, where and it rewards you and. Get leveling up your character in that job class, much like in Bravely Default, because that's the first game I go to as well. When it comes to like mastery of a class, you get something that automatically you get to carry into other classes with you. And that Final Fantasy Tactics is the original of this. Bravely Default, a game that I love, took from this. Fire Emblem took from this game. So it is just one of these things where I'm experiencing it for the first time, and I do love it. It is fun. It is fully voice acted. It's one of those things where like after you get done with a long drawn out battle, they're going to reward you with some good storytelling and some good old English voice acting. Because that seems to be what I don't know why Nintendo always gets English voice actors, but that is what they do. I love this game. As well. This is probably finding a spot on my top 10.
Okay.
And for me, yeah.
question, because I bought it because I have such a love for the original. This is the original, right?
So yeah,
Okay.
what it is there is an option to play it through as the original, like the original way.
Okay.
I'm playing through the updated way, which has the fully voiced cutscenes, more like technical stuff to combat.
Mm-hmm.
And the strange thing about this game is it's called the Ivalice Chronicles. The reason it is like that is because the original was called Final Fantasy Tactics, and then there is another version of the game that came out, I think on I want to say like PSP.
Okay.
Something like that. That game had extra chapters that the original didn't.
Okay.
So
I never played the PSP one.
Yeah, it adds that into it, along with the incredible art style that that they put with it. It's just really really good.
Yeah.
It feels like the replacement for me is like final. We haven't really had like another Final Fantasy game in a little bit. We had 16, we had part 2 reunion, but this is like the Final Fantasy game for me this year, I guess is what I'm getting at. And it's such a different way of doing things that I really like it. All right, due to some technical difficulties, we are back now. Sorry for the odd cut probably and all of that. But yeah, Final Fantasy Tactics, can't recommend it enough. Craig, do you have any other like questions about tactics or anything like that? Or
no, the only thing I was making sure is it the game that I grew up playing, which is like the only tactics game that I ever liked, which is why I bought it, because I was like, oh, I love this as a kid. So I'm glad to know it's the same, but better.
Yeah, I guess for you would have to decide if it's the same. I never played the original.
Okay.
But from what I know, everyone who loves the original also likes this.
Okay.
This version of the game.
Cool.
You want to hear something weird about me? I am the weirdo that grew up on Final Fantasy Tactics Advance.
Okay.
Which is different from this one.
Yes.
So that's what intrigued me about grabbing it. I haven't grabbed it yet, but that's my Final Fantasy Tactics experience.
And then Ghost of Yotei, the most recent out of all the games we've been playing. I will say I'm only a couple hours in. I'm not too crazy in. But I guess before I'll let someone else get their thoughts in first. Craig had.
I was going to say, you could say your thoughts. I'm about 16 to 20 hours in. That's my Hades 2 right now.
Okay. All right. So then, yeah, I'll go because I don't have nearly as much. I like the game. I do find that the parrying window seems to be a little tighter than last year or in Ghost of Tsushima. They somehow did make the world even more beautiful. It is a very, very pretty game. Full disclosure, I am playing on PS5 Pro, so I get all of the ray tracing and all of the 60 frames a second. I get it all. And
you stole them all.
And my TV makes sure it looks nice. I have to give it that.
Nice.
I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get attached to Atsu. Right now, she has more question marks than anything. The beginning of the game is very questionable in who or what is Atsu. And Craig, you've 16 to 20 hours. You know what I'm talking about. So I have more questions as to what's going on with this character. We learned about Jin through Ghost of Tsushima in like more of those story missions, and I've just kind of gotten through the story missions, the story beginning, at least for Atsu. I went through her family stuff, but it is really cool how it's this flip and there is no loading time between the two, but you flip between Atsu present day and Atsu as a child, and you go through the basics, you learn more about why she's so musically inclined. It's because of her mother. Her father is from is a forge person. He's a blacksmith. And then you have the brother as well, who I'm like, maybe I'll learn more about. I haven't learned much about him yet, but the beginning of the game starts out very samurai-ish, and we're kind of working our way, I guess, into liking it more. The reason I keep going right now is just because I know, like, Ghost Tsushima did take a while for it to grasp me.
Same.
I don't know if I'm hoping that Yotei does a better job, and from what I've heard, it does do a better job of getting you into the thick of things pretty quickly. It does the same thing with open zones in a way where it sections off each area. I think that is incredibly smart for someone who is worried about having open world fatigue. Um, but yeah, that's my first impressions into the game right now. Craig, you are considerably further than I am.
I'm going to
Are
start
my
with the
yeah?
yeah. I'm going to
Yeah.
I was going to start with the point that you just made, which the fatigue thing. I think we suffer from that a lot. We've played a bunch of Ubisoft, uh, like fatigue creating games, or like I think that the zone thing is great. I am a fan of the spaghetti western kind of style where we have 5 targets. These are who they are. They're on different ends of the world. Go kill them kind of thing. The Kill Bill formula, if I
Yes.
may. Um, I was a fan of that from the start. And you're right, Barry. They section it off into zones. You have your first main area that you get into, and you could spend as much or as little time in that area as possible if you want to get into a zone, which all kind of have their own different, not weather, but they're like different sections of the map. Like there's one far up north, so you know there's going to be snow. There's one that has a different color palette off to the west. And I spent the first 15 hours in like the main area just doing it, because there's like there's a first section and then a second session that I don't think counts. I wouldn't count it as a zone. So I kind of just got lost. You know how ghost games are. A fox runs this way. I got to take care of that. And then all of a sudden I see something in the distance. There's a good usage of a spyglass here, so you can mark things often in the distance and mark them on your map. The wolf companion is a good addition. So he has his own things that you do for him to increase. Now, the one thing that I didn't realize when I was seeing the trailers is I thought the wolf was more, and this is, I wouldn't even say I'm even a thick into the story. I thought he was more story based. Like the wolf kind of jumps into battle with you, and there are sub missions you can do for him, or like sub collection things you can do for him. But I thought he was running the whole time alongside your horse, and I don't know if I didn't pay attention to the gameplay trailers enough, but uh it took me a section of time to get attached to Atsu. I needed some of that. I did spend some time going back to her as a kid, because there are
Yep.
memories of the past dotted across the map, so you can go back and you can kind of see more of her as a kid and her family. Now that I've gotten, because like the last hour and a half of gameplay that I have done is actually in the first zone that I chose, because they do give you that free reign. You can go here, you can do the story your way. Now that I'm actually in a section, it's pretty good. It's
Okay.
it's it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Each section, if it follows the sections that I started, have its own personality, its own conflicts, and they kind of give you the, if you cross this area, you will open this stage of the map. So I'm warning anybody, as a fellow person who suffers from fatigue sometimes, it, like you can literally dictate how you want to play this game. You could do the 15 hours like I did in the main area and do all the bounties and all that other stuff, or you can maybe do 5 hours in the main area and then take yourself into the first zone and not do anything else until you complete that zone. It's your choice. The bounties they're bounties. They have the same system, but they feel so um specific to their own. Like each one that you go to, I mean, Ghost games are always do a good job of making the duels and everything very artistic, but not every bounty ends up being a duel, which I thought was cool. Some have a deeper story that you have to figure out. Like it doesn't ruin it for you, because I'm not going to say which person it is, but there was a bounty that I did where I went to this camp and I had to question where the bounty was, and it turns out everybody in the camp was so nervous for that bounty that they were just lying for him. So I had to figure out who it was and then fight a bunch of them who were trying to defend that bounty because they believed in what that person said. And that was just one bounty, no cutscenes, just that. So it's good. And the last thing that I'll say, because I could talk for days about it, that I like that Atsu is not a samurai. She is raw. Mm-hmm. And you could see it in her fighting style. You can also see it in how you progress her stuff. So she starts out with the katana. There are 5 weapons in total. And this is probably, and I might be cheesy here. This has probably been one of my favorite parts of the game thus far. When you do find the ability to get another weapon, you have to train. There's like a sequence. It's not something where it's just over and over and over again so that you get bored with it. There's a story attached to it, and she gets sensei'd with each weapon. So when you get the weapon, you don't feel like you just found it or that, like, I just got lucky. Like, you feel like you earned it. So that kind of helps with the attachment to the style, and each enemy is weak against a certain weapon type. So if you're fighting somebody with a katana, you better fight with a katana. If you're fighting somebody with like, a spear, you have to use the dual katanas, or it's harder to stagger them and beat them. Yeah. And that Pokemon, like fire ice kind of thing. Sorry, mentioning Pokemon again. That Pokemon thing, it makes the battle great because you are switching constantly between weapons, sometimes very last minute, and it has made some gorgeous looking fights.
They did that a little bit in the first one with your stances.
Correct.
Yeah. So instead of stances, you got different weapons.
Okay.
So that's the change that I think there's some people that have a gripe about it, but that is one of the changes, is it's weapons and not stances.
Okay. I can get down with that though.
And that made it cool. So still looks great, fantastic, even on a PS5 as well. Like it looks amazing. The amount of times you're going to use photo mode. Whew.
I never use photo mode like I should.
I think you're gonna use this photo mode.
Okay.
They make it very accessible. It's right on the D-pad.
All right. So what's the prettier game this year, Death Stranding or Ghost? Because Death Stranding's got some moments.
It does. I'm gonna say in tandem with Japanese ambiance.
Okay.
I'm going to say Ghost at this point because it's. I'm not saying Australia is not a great looking place. Please don't think that that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that the way that Sucker Punch does this, the way that Sucker Punch does the ambiance of where you're at, it's probably Ghost for me.
Okay.
But not by much. But yes.
Fair.
Before we get into movies and TV shows, this is just something that I wanted to shout out. We do free ads here just because it's something I personally believe in. As someone who's been getting lost a lot lately in all of the games that have been coming out and find myself being a value gamer now, have either of you heard of Deku deals?
I have.
Okay. That sounds familiar.
Okay, so maybe I'm just late on this, but Deku Deals allows you to place games in your wish list, and they send you a little notification or email whenever a game goes on sale.
Yep.
So, like, for me, I have EA College Sports, EA College Football 26, because I've waited as long as I have. You can get it for $37 from Amazon. So just if you are someone who games heavily and is looking to get into like physical, like physical games as well, I feel like this is probably one of the best tools I've ever used. And again, it sounds like I'm just late on it, as you guys have heard of it. But overall, I just really enjoy this app, and I'm someone who is for the fellow gamer that also wants to save money. So,
correct.
Download Deku Deals. It doesn't cost you anything.
Use a promo code.
No
problem. Use promo code Barry.
Free ads. We give free ads out on this podcast. If Deku Deals wants to give us an ad, please reach out, and I would absolutely do it. You guys have a good product on your hand. It's nice.
Yeah.
Fair.
Movies and TV shows. So many games have come out that I haven't really watched or played anything. Do I have? Well, sorry, no. I got Demon Slayer. Never mind. Because I haven't talked about Demon Slayer, have I?
No, you have not.
Okay, Demon Slayer.
Let's see. This week is the season finale of Peacemaker, so I'll hold off on that. I guess really the only one I've watched movies, but I've kind of like simplified it down to like, are they worth talking about? You know what I mean? Caught Stealing would be the only one.
Okay. This is the time of year that my wife are watching a scary movie at night. So since the last podcast, we've been watching obviously scary movies that have already been out for the most part, but we did catch I Know What You Did Last Summer, this year's version. Also, I have a little bit about Marvel Zombies as
Still
well.
have to watch that. Keep forgetting. Go ahead, Barry.
Anime corner, everyone. Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer became the most literally broke records for animated films. I watched the sub, so that's just what I've always watched with Demon Slayer. It's what I stick with. The dub is also very good from what I hear. This movie has outstanding ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. We thought K-pop Demon Slayer was going to be the biggest animated film. I think Demon Slayer's come for its throat. It's a bad time to be a demon. Let me just be real with you guys. Incredible. It's just one of those things where it is animated so fantastically. The battle scenes are all so much fun just to watch and get lost in. This is a 3-part series, so keep that in mind. There are going to be unfinished story, bits to it. But Craig, remember how much you hate Zenitsu? He's not a big baby anymore.
All right.
He's he is serious. He is mean in a way, in his own way. He is not a big baby and doesn't cry all the time. The fight between Akusa and Giyu, as someone who read the manga, I didn't know it could do it justice. It did. It's really hard to explain just because if anybody remembers years ago when I reviewed Mugen Train for High Sensitivity Podcast here, it was probably one of the best fight scenes that I had ever seen in my life. Sound design is incredible. Everything about that fight is incredible. This is on par with that. And it is so... I can't recommend it enough. I know, Craig, you've watched a little bit of Demon Slayer. I'm not sure if you caught up or anything like that, or have watched the Swordsmith Village or anything. But this movie, the only thing that I can tell you that I don't like about it, but it's because it's staying true to the story, is you break up the fights with these big, long sequences of backstories for the demons, much like in the anime. After they finally, defeat a demon, you usually learn their backstory as to why they became one. And for some people, especially the one in the movie theater I was in, people literally went to sleep during the one section. So just keep that in mind. Like, it's meant to make you feel for it, and I know it does resonate with some people, but there are a lot of people who are going to Demon Slayer just for the full-on action, full-on anything. They really don't care about anything else. It excels in all of the action that is given to it. It does do a good job of the demon stories and telling you why they became demons and how you're supposed to feel sorry for them. It's just a matter of, for some people, that is not what they're coming to this movie for. And they are kind of long. So just keep that in mind if you're going to see it. If you're not into it, maybe take that time to go to the bathroom. If you're really not into the whole demon backstory. But overall, I love this movie. I can't wait to own it physically. It just stinks that we're going to have to wait 2 years between each of these parts. That is probably the worst part of all of this, is that we have to wait 2 years between part 2 and then what will be part 3.
A resounding 10 out of 10. Is that what you gave it?
A 9.5.
11.
9.5. Okay. Yeah. Is it like 3 hours long?
Yes.
Is it that? Okay.
Okay.
Dang.
2 hours 48 minutes.
That's a long time to be in a theater.
These
days.
It is.
It does fly.
Okay.
Fly by pretty quickly, but again, there are people who are not going to like the slow bits of it.
Sure.
People are not. There are going to be people that do not care about the demons' backstories. Channing Tatum is in the English voice cast. If you really feel like he does have a small part to play in all of this, so if you're a big Channing Tatum fan, you can you can go see that. He's
trying to draw people in.
Apparently, him and his daughter are very big fans of Demon Slayer. Okay. So
I heard that as well.
Yeah, it's just nice to see that kind of thing.
Right.
We see it in Studio Ghibli movies where we have people like Robert Pattinson or Christian Bale, like big top voice actors or actors, I even should say, lending their voices to these animated films. And I think it's just nice to see Demon Slayer do it too, because usually we only see it in Studio Ghibli films.
Fair. All right. I'll give you Caught Stealing. Barry, this is a movie that you and I enjoy. These types of movies. Reminds me of like a Guy Ritchie movie, very much like that style. Very simple premise. Austin Butler is the main character. He lives in an apartment. His next door neighbor says, "Hey, I'm going out of town. Can you watch my cat?" And then a whole bunch of nonsense about stolen money and finding money and all this craziness happens. I'm trying to be very vague because that's kind of the whole point of the movie, is figuring out what's going on. But it's that very over the top action with comedy mixed in that works so well. That's he's like running around New York trying to figure out where the money is, because he has no idea. There's people chasing him saying, "Where's the money?" And he says, "I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm just watching my neighbor's cat," type of deal. And it's because his neighbor had stolen money or something like that. But I remember seeing it when it was in theaters, but I don't remember hearing anybody talk about this movie at all. And I'm not like the biggest Austin Butler fan, to be fair. He's very much like, he's a method actor, right? He's the person who's like, I get so into character. But seeing him do a movie where he's kind of more normal, if that makes sense. He's not trying to be Elvis or whatever else he's trying to be lately.
In Dune.
Yeah. It's just nice to see him just to do like a more of a comedy action style role. I think it fits him. Like, he could do these movies all day and I would be there for every single one of them, which is kind of interesting because I didn't care about the Elvis movie. I don't really care about Dune. I know you love Dune, but like Dune is not for me. But I literally watched the movie because I was like, oh yeah, this came out, let me watch it. And it's one of those ones where I was like, man, Barry would love this movie. This is a Barry movie through and through.
Nice.
Yeah. So I have to bring that up because you have not seen it, right?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Anytime I see something that's like, this is a Craig movie, this is a Barry movie, I'm like, I have to make sure and bring it up on the podcast so you guys are aware of it.
I'll take a look at it.
Caught Stealing. Yeah.
I mean, and man, honestly, to be honest with you, if it's like a Guy Ritchie movie, like you're talking about, like kind of like a Snatch or a Rock and Rolla, I'm down for that. I'm down for that kind of movie too. I like that.
I really got that vibe, and I was like, who is the director? Is this Guy Ritchie? It's not. It's Darren Aronofsky, who did like Requiem for a Dream and that kind of stuff. So similar, but I was like, this has to be Guy Ritchie, but it is not. But yeah, check it out. Let me know what you think.
All right, so I got some quick ones here. I Know What You Did Last Summer, 2025 version. The most surprising thing that I could say about this that my wife and I decided on after watching this, because she's more of a I Know What You Did fan than I am, even though I appreciate the movies, is we didn't think it sucked. We thought it was going to suck like terribly, and it's actually not bad. It was a fun enough watch, and I'll tell you why. And I'll also tell you why it's not fun to watch. So the lines are extremely cheesy. Like they really just force fed the corniest observational humor or pun or whatever, and they were like, we're just unapologetically just served it up with a side of corn, you know, like it's just bad. But some of the kills are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, there's some pretty if you're into slashers for the slashing of the oh my gosh, how did that happen? Oh my god, where's their spine? Like kind of thing, then I think you're gonna get this from this movie. They got pretty creative there, and that's what made it a fun watch. Longevity wise, are you gonna want to watch this every 6 months? Probably not. Or a year even, probably not. Will this make it into our Halloween rotation next year? No, one of the originals will. But I thought they did not do a good commercial or a good trailer for this one because they kind of told you like expect this to suck, and then we were surprised when it didn't. So that's our take on I Know What You Did Last Summer. Something that didn't suck. Marvel Zombies or Marvel Zombies. Have you guys seen that trailer?
Yes. It's a great trailer.
I took a look at it and I was like, hello. Like, so it's apparently it's a continue or a spinoff of the What If series, the animation series What If, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's in a timeline where there's a zombie virus that has affected not only the world but also these superheroes and Marvel superheroes that inhabit it. So some people are infected, some people aren't. Some people are comically infected, and I'll let you figure out who. But it stars like a really nice cast. It's a group of like zombie survivors that kind of are trekking across, and they keep running into these either infected or not infected superheroes. And like part of the fun of this show is trying to figure out who is and who isn't. And then your first thought process, because they don't show every single thing, is how did they get infected? Like you're kind of wondering because every superhero, obviously, in Marvel has different stipulations. Some are human, but are super because of what they have created for them to wear, like an Iron Man. Some people are just naturally gifted with superhuman powers, strength, speed, whatever, immortality or not immortality, but invulnerability. And part of the fun of this show is seeing not only this group try to make it just across the US and like what they're actually trying to get done, but also playing that who's infected, who's not game. So it's not a long series. It's 4 episodes. And they're like 30 minutes, 40 minutes each. But it's very creative. It's artistically done well. And it's good for this time of year.
Cool.
So you can power through it in like 2 hours. So Disney Plus.
I'm
easy.
definitely watching it. I just keep forgetting. I don't go on Disney Plus enough. That's the problem.
That's why we were on there is that.
Yeah.
We were just like, oh my God, like Disney Plus for the win tonight.
Yeah.
There are many things I need to catch up on watching. Just haven't.
Yep.
But we hope you caught up with our podcast today. So I appreciate everyone listening with us here. If you feel so inclined on your podcast listening platform of choice, please make sure to leave a review, leave a comment, leave a like, a star rating, whatever is required. Let us know if you recommend us or not, or if you have any suggestions, let us know what you think. I did see the suggestion for timestamps on the YouTube videos. I am going to try. It's not something that's easily done, but I am going to try to see if I can get timestamps on the videos for news, video game, and movie sections. So we'll see what I can do with that. Hopefully in the coming weeks, if I don't get it this week, hopefully the next one. When it comes to YouTube, please make sure to like and subscribe and comment below, and I'll see your feedback or much of what you want to discuss. We'll see there too. If you feel so inclined, share it with a friend. We appreciate all the support we get every week. And yeah, I think that's through the laundry list. It's been a little bit since I've done that, so it wasn't as smooth as I usually have it down pat. But anything else you guys want to add?
Don't think so. I'm good.
No, thank you for the awesome suggestions, guys. Like viewers and watchers. Thank you. That's a good idea. The timestamp thing. I see.
I will try. It's not the easiest thing to implement, but I will try. Other than that, I hope you guys have a good week and enjoyed listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
See you.
Bye, guys.